Many women reach their 30s feeling like they're doing everything right, eating carefully, exercising regularly, staying productive, yet their body feels more tired, more resistant, and less responsive than it used to. The instinct is to push harder. But for many women over 30, that pressure is exactly what's making things worse. After this age, the body becomes more sensitive to stress signals. Hormones like cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, insulin, and thyroid hormones no longer respond the same way they did in your 20s. When the body feels constant pressure, it shifts into protection mode instead of repair mode. That's why pushing harder often leads to burnout, stalled progress, and frustration. In this video, you'll learn the hormonal reason effort backfires after 30, why your body resists pressure, and what actually supports healing, energy, and balance in this phase of life. Why your body interprets pushing harder as stress after 30. The harder you push, the more your body tightens. Many women notice a frustrating pattern after 30. When you try harder, stricter routines, tougher workouts, tighter schedules, your body doesn't improve. Instead, it feels heavier, more tired, more resistant. Energy drops, sleep suffers, weight shifts the wrong way, and motivation fades. This isn't because you've lost discipline, it's because your body is reading pressure as stress, not strength. After 30, the body no longer responds well to force. What pushing harder signals to your nervous system. Every time you rush, restrict, overtrain, or pressure yourself to perform, your nervous system receives one message: something is wrong. The hormone that responds first is cortisol. Cortisol's job is to protect you during danger. When it rises, the body shifts into survival mode. In survival mode, repair slows down, digestion becomes less efficient. Hormonal balance is deprioritized. The body conserves energy instead of restoring it. This response made sense thousands of years ago. After 30, it becomes a daily pattern, and that's where problems begin. Why this stress response is stronger after 30. In your 20s, the body recovers quickly from stress. Cortisol rises, then falls. After age 30, recovery slows. Years of work stress, emotional load, sleep disruption, dieting, pregnancy, or caregiving reduce the body's stress buffer. This means cortisol rises faster. Cortisol stays elevated longer. Small stressors feel bigger to the body. So when you push harder, your body doesn't rise to the challenge, it pulls back. How this shows up in real life. When pushing becomes the default, many women notice feeling exhausted even with healthy habits, needing more effort for less result, trouble sleeping despite being tired, increased cravings or appetite loss, weight changes that don't make sense. These are not signs of weakness, they are signs your body is trying to protect itself. Why motivation stops working the way it used to. Motivation relies on stress hormones. In your 20s, that worked. After 30, relying on cortisol for motivation leads to burnout. The body becomes less responsive to adrenaline-driven effort and more sensitive to overload. This is why more workouts don't equal more energy. More discipline doesn't equal better balance. More pressure doesn't equal progress. The hormonal environment has changed. Why this is often misunderstood. Society teaches women to push through discomfort. Doctors often focus on behavior instead of hormonal response. So women are told, be more consistent. Try harder. Stick to the plan. But consistency without hormonal support keeps the body in stress mode. Blood tests may look normal because this is a functional stress response, not a disease. What the body needs instead of pressure. After 30, the body responds better to safety signals. Predictable routines, adequate rest, regular nourishment, gentle, sustainable movement. These signals lower cortisol and tell the body it's safe to repair. After 30, pushing harder doesn't motivate your body, it alarms it. When effort feels like pressure, the body shifts into protection mode and resists change. Real progress begins when stress signals quiet and the body feels safe enough to heal, adapt, and respond again. Cortisol. After 30, when motivation turns into hormonal burnout. Why willpower stops working the way it used to. Many women notice that the same drive and discipline that once worked now leaves them drained. You push through workouts, tighten routines, power through long days, but instead of feeling accomplished, you feel exhausted and fragile. This isn't a mindset problem, it's a cortisol problem. After age 30, the body no longer tolerates constant cortisol-driven motivation. What once felt energizing now feels depleting. What cortisol is designed to do. Cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone. In short bursts, it's helpful. It keeps you alert, mobilizes quick energy, helps you respond to challenges. This is why pushing harder can feel productive at first. Cortisol rises, adrenaline kicks in, and you get things done. But cortisol was never meant to stay high every day. What happens when cortisol stays elevated? When cortisol remains elevated for long periods, the body shifts into chronic survival mode. In this state, energy is borrowed, not restored. Muscle repair slows, hormonal balance becomes secondary. The nervous system stays on high alert. Instead of building strength or resilience, the body begins to break down faster than it can recover. Why this shift happens after 30? After age 30, several changes occur. Stress recovery slows. Sleep becomes more fragile. Hormonal reserve decreases. Life responsibilities increase. This means cortisol rises more easily and stays elevated longer. What once felt like a healthy drive now feels like pressure to the body. For women 30 to 45, even productive stress can quietly become hormonal overload. The wired but tired state explained. One of the clearest signs of cortisol overload is feeling mentally alert but physically exhausted, motivated but unable to relax, productive yet deeply tired afterward. This happens because cortisol keeps the brain stimulated while draining the body. Over time, this leads to fatigue, poor sleep, mood changes, and stalled progress. How cortisol disrupts other hormones. Chronic cortisol elevation interferes with key female hormones. It suppresses progesterone, reducing calm and recovery. It destabilizes estrogen, affecting mood and metabolism. It interferes with insulin, impacting energy and weight. It overstimulates the thyroid, increasing burnout. This is why pushing harder often leads to multiple symptoms at once, not just tiredness. Why blood tests often don't show the problem. Cortisol fluctuates throughout the day. A single test can look normal while the nervous system remains chronically activated. This leads many women to feel dismissed, even when their body clearly isn't recovering. This isn't a disease, it's a stress pattern. What supports cortisol after 30? Lowering cortisol doesn't mean giving up. It means changing the signal, slowing down intensity, creating predictable routines, eating regularly, prioritizing sleep and rest. These signals tell the body it no longer needs to stay in emergency mode. After 30, cortisol-driven motivation stops working because the body prioritizes survival over progress. When stress hormones stay high, burnout replaces balance. Real energy and results return when cortisol is calmed, not pushed. Estrogen and progesterone. Why female hormones don't respond to force. Your hormones don't respond to pressure, they respond to safety. Many women assume that if they just stay disciplined, their hormones will eventually catch up. But estrogen and progesterone don't work like muscles or productivity systems. These hormones are deeply connected to how safe, supported, and calm your body feels. When you push harder, they don't rise to the challenge, they pull back. This shift becomes very noticeable after age 30. What estrogen and progesterone are meant to do. In a balanced body, estrogen supports metabolism, circulation, mood, and tissue repair. Progesterone supports calm, sleep, recovery, and emotional stability. Together, they create a hormonal environment that allows the body to heal, adapt, and function smoothly. They thrive in a system that feels predictable and safe. Why force backfires? After 30. After 30, estrogen and progesterone become more sensitive to stress signals. Years of work pressure, emotional load, sleep disruption, dieting, pregnancy, or overexercising reduce hormonal resilience. As a result, estrogen may fluctuate instead of staying steady. Progesterone may struggle to fully calm the nervous system. Hormonal signals become inconsistent. When you add pressure on top of this, the body interprets it as danger, not motivation. Hormone fluctuation versus hormone deficiency. This is where many women are misunderstood. Most women over 30 who feel hormonally off are not lacking estrogen or progesterone. Instead, they're experiencing hormone fluctuation and poor hormonal response. This means hormones are present, but the body isn't responding strongly to their signals. The calming and repairing message doesn't fully land. Standard lab tests measure hormone levels, not how effectively those hormones are working inside the body. This is why results often look normal while symptoms persist. How this shows up in daily life. When estrogen and progesterone can't do their job properly, many women notice increased anxiety or emotional sensitivity, poor sleep despite exhaustion, heavier PMS symptoms, difficulty recovering from workouts, feeling fragile instead of resilient. These are signs the body is asking for support, not more effort. Why progesterone suffers first. Progesterone is especially sensitive to stress. High cortisol directly suppresses its calming effects. When progesterone can't do its job, sleep becomes lighter. Anxiety increases, recovery slows. The body stays alert. This makes pushing harder feel even worse, creating a cycle of stress and depletion. Why estrogen becomes unstable under pressure. Estrogen needs balance to function well. Under chronic stress, estrogen signaling becomes erratic. Mood and energy fluctuate. Metabolic balance is harder to maintain. This doesn't mean estrogen is too high or too low. It means the body is struggling to regulate it under pressure. What support looks like instead of force. Supporting estrogen and progesterone means changing the environment they work in. Predictable daily rhythms, regular meals, gentle movement, emotional pressure reduced, rest without guilt. When these signals are present, hormones regain their ability to coordinate. Why this matters after 30. After 30, hormones no longer tolerate chaos well. They require consistency and calm. This isn't a weakness, it's a shift toward a more refined, sensitive system. Estrogen and progesterone don't respond to force, discipline, or pressure. They respond to safety, rhythm, and support. After 30, real hormonal balance comes not from pushing harder, but from creating conditions where your body finally feels safe enough to work with you again. The metabolism and thyroid trap. Burning out instead of building. A driven body isn't always a healthy body. Many women are told their metabolism is fast and that this is why pushing harder should work. You're encouraged to train more, stay busy, stay disciplined. But after age 30, a constantly driven body often isn't efficient. It's overstimulated. And at the center of this pattern is the thyroid, working under pressure instead of balance. When effort becomes constant, metabolism stops supporting health and starts supporting survival. What the thyroid is designed to do. The thyroid regulates how your body uses energy through hormones like T4 and T3. In a balanced state, the thyroid converts food into steady energy, supports muscle repair and tissue renewal, maintains a stable metabolism. A healthy thyroid doesn't just burn fuel, it allows the body to build, recover, and adapt. How pushing harder pushes the thyroid into stress mode. When stress is constant, cortisol signals the thyroid to keep energy high so you can keep going. Over time, this creates a stress-driven metabolic state where calories are burned quickly, recovery is delayed, muscle repair slows, weight regulation becomes unstable. The body appears productive, but internally it's running on borrowed energy. Why this pattern shows up after 30. After 30, the thyroid becomes more sensitive to stress signals. Years of overtraining, undereating, poor sleep, emotional pressure, high mental load teach the body that rest is unsafe. The thyroid adapts by staying active, not because the body is thriving, but because it's coping. How this feels in daily life. Women stuck in this pattern often experience feeling warm or restless, energy crashes after busy days, difficulty slowing down, trouble gaining strength despite effort, progress that stalls no matter how hard they try. This isn't a motivation problem, it's a metabolism under pressure. Why thyroid tests often look normal. Standard thyroid tests look for disease, not stress-driven overactivation. They don't show cortisol-thyroid interaction, metabolism fueled by pressure, poor recovery signaling. So results often come back normal, even when the body is clearly not restoring itself. The thyroid-estrogen-progesterone connection. The thyroid relies on estrogen and progesterone to signal safety and balance. Progesterone helps slow the nervous system. Estrogen supports metabolic regulation. When cortisol stays high, progesterone's calming effect weakens and estrogen becomes harder to regulate. The thyroid stays stuck in burn mode instead of allowing repair. What helps the thyroid after 30? Supporting the thyroid means reducing pressure, not increasing effort. Fewer high-intensity sessions. Consistent nourishment, planned rest days, predictable sleep rhythms. These signals tell the thyroid it doesn't need to push anymore. After 30, pushing harder doesn't strengthen metabolism, it overstimulates it. When the thyroid is driven by stress instead of balance, progress stalls. Real metabolic health returns when the body is allowed to slow down, recover, and rebuild, not when it's forced to keep burning. What works instead? A hormone-supportive way forward after 30. After age 30, progress no longer comes from effort alone. It comes from alignment. When your daily habits send safety signals instead of pressure signals, hormones like cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, insulin, and thyroid hormones finally begin working together instead of competing. This is the shift that makes healing, energy, weight balance, and emotional stability possible. This approach isn't about doing less forever, it's about doing things differently so your body can respond again. Morning, set the hormonal tone before stress takes over. The first hour of your day has an outsized effect on hormones. Wake without rushing whenever possible. Avoid immediately checking your phone or mentally planning the day. Eat within 1 hour of waking. Early nourishment lowers cortisol and stabilizes insulin, preventing the stress spikes that set the body into protection mode. This also allows progesterone to support calm and estrogen to regulate energy more smoothly throughout the day. After 30, skipping or delaying food sends a danger signal even if you're used to it. Eating rhythm, consistency over control. Hormones don't respond well to restrictions, rules, or long gaps. Eat every 3 to 4 hours. Combine protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Avoid saving calories for later. Predictable eating tells the body that energy is reliable. This stabilizes insulin and reduces cortisol output. For women over 30, this rhythm is often more important than what or how much you eat. Movement. Shift from intensity to support. Exercise should support recovery, not demand it. Prioritize gentle strength training. Limit high-intensity cardio. Include rest days intentionally. Too much intensity keeps cortisol and thyroid hormones elevated. When movement is supportive instead of draining, estrogen and progesterone regain their ability to coordinate metabolism, mood, and recovery. After 30, results come from balanced effort, not maximum effort. Stress reduction. Lower the signal that blocks healing. Your body cannot heal while it feels under threat. Use slow breathing to calm the nervous system. Reduce multitasking. Create small pauses during the day. You don't need long rituals. Even brief moments of calm lower cortisol and improve hormone communication. Over time, the nervous system learns that it doesn't need to stay alert all day. Midday, reset. Prevent hormonal overload. Many women crash in the afternoon because stress accumulates silently. Eat before hunger becomes intense. Step away from constant stimulation. Take short mental breaks. This prevents cortisol buildup that disrupts sleep, energy, and hormone balance later. Evening. Signal safety before sleep. Evenings are when the body decides whether to repair or stay alert. Dim lights early. Reduce screen exposure. Avoid emotionally intense conversations late. Eat a balanced dinner. These signals help progesterone support rest and prevent estrogen-driven mental alertness from taking over. Sleep, the hormonal reset button. Sleep affects every hormone discussed. Aim for consistent bedtimes. Accept imperfect sleep without anxiety. Rest during the day if nights are broken. After 30, sleep quality matters more than sleep quantity. Better sleep lowers cortisol, stabilizes insulin, and allows estrogen and progesterone to recover their natural rhythm. Why this works after 30. This approach works because it respects how the female body changes with age. Stress recovery slows. Hormone sensitivity increases. The nervous system becomes more protective. When daily life signals safety instead of urgency, the body stops resisting and starts responding again. After 30, pushing harder stops working because your body isn't built for constant pressure anymore. Real progress comes from calm consistency, not force. When you support your hormones instead of fighting them, your body regains its ability to heal, balance, and move forward naturally and sustainably. Conclusion. If pushing harder used to work for you but doesn't anymore, it's not a personal failure, it's a biological shift. After age 30, the female body becomes more sensitive to stress signals and less tolerant of constant pressure. Hormones like cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, insulin, and thyroid hormones no longer respond to force the way they once did. When the body feels rushed or judged, it moves into protection mode. Healing slows, energy drops, and progress stalls. This isn't your body working against you, it's your body trying to keep you safe. And once you understand that, everything changes. Real progress begins when effort is replaced with support. Calm routines, regular nourishment, gentle movement, stress reduction, and protected sleep send the signals your hormones need to cooperate again. Over time, the body stops resisting and starts responding. Small daily habits create powerful hormonal shifts. When you support your body instead of fighting it, hormones begin working with you, not against you. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.